Yo, what up, world? 502 King Paul coming to y'all with another video, man. So the other day I'm on social media, I'm scrolling my timeline, and I see a post about 420. And honestly, just where I'm at mentally right now, I completely forgot about 420. And I know different people watch this channel for different reasons. Some people watch it for the relationship videos I put up, the soul ties videos. Some of them watch it because of different religious things I may put up, scripture. But I touch on a multitude of different topics, and one of those being addiction. So I thought it would be cool for me to share this story. This is my craziest 420 moment of my life. Now, for those of y'all who do not know what 420 is, probably not a smoker, but it's essentially like the smoker's holiday. It's a stoner's holiday. I've heard different origin stories. I'm not really sure, where 420 originated from. I've heard it was a group of college students that got together each day at 420 and they blazed up. But if you know the background story, if you're educated on it, have more information, feel free to go down below and post where 420 originated from. I'll be interested in seeing your responses. But again, like I said, it is the stoner's holiday. And on this particular 420, this was my sophomore year of college. My freshman year of college is when I really got more adapted to the stoner lifestyle. I was smoking multiple times all day, every day. Prior to that, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I first smoked at a very young age, but it wasn't until my freshman year of college that I really started smoking. So this is my sophomore year of college. So by this point, I'm already heavy in the game of smoking. I'm smoking all day, every day. That was just a way of life for me at that time. So me and the group of guys that, I hung around, we had been looking forward to this smoker's holiday. We had been looking forward to 420. And we prepared for it the day before. We were waiting until everyone got out of our classes on that day. And we got together, and it just so happened all of us were done with our classes, I want to say around 11 o'clock in the morning. So we all got together and we smoked. And it was only 3 of us, including myself. So we had a big bag of White Widow, which is a certain strand of weed. It's a very potent strand of weed. And, we all got together, sat in the living room. One of my partners on one couch, one on the other couch. I'm on the love seat. We got the TV going, listening to music, and we start smoking. And we smoked, and we smoked, and we smoked, and we smoked. I'm not sure if everyone who's smoked in their life or that's currently smoking, if you can relate to this, but I was one of those people, man, in the weed session that I would start questioning, what is our goal at this point? Like, how high are we going to try to get? I feel like I'm as high as I can get, 2-3 blunts ago, and we're still smoking. At this point, we might as well be smoking just air because I couldn't get any higher. I felt like I've reached my maximum high, and every blunt that we smoked after that was just for no apparent reason whatsoever. So we smoked and smoked and smoked. Next thing you know, man, like I said, we started about 11 o'clock, around noon. And next thing you know, I wake up and it is around 6 o'clock in the evening. So we've smoked the entire day away. I wake up, I see my partner on that couch sleep. I see my other partner on the couch sleep. And I'm asleep. We just fell asleep in the living room, sitting up, just went out. We smoked that much. And the story wouldn't be as crazy if it ended right here, but it didn't end at that point. We then went over one of my other partner's cribs, went over his house, and when we get over to his house, there's a big room of people. They're all inside of his living room. We walk in, smoke everywhere. And I want to say all together, including us, there were maybe about 12 to 14 people in this room. Everyone sitting there completely blazed, just like I said, smoke everywhere. There's some women inside there, a few of my other guy partners inside of there. And we sit down and we start smoking some more. Well, we're smoking so much at this get together that literally You have a blunt in your hand and you're passing it and another one's coming to you. And that was the goal. It was for everyone to constantly have a blunt of weed in their hand nonstop. It got to the point to where some people were getting 2 blunts in their hands and they're smoking 2 and then trying to pass it on. But it was so much weed in rotation at that get together. It was just crazy. And one thing about me, man, and this goes to the whole anxiety thing with smoking. I do not like being outside of my element. I do not like being like I'm not in control of my body. And another thing about me is when I'm around women in particular, I don't like being off my square. So I won't get too drunk. If I'm drinking, I would try not to get too high if I'm smoking, because I just felt like it made me less attractive as a man, as a person. So I would purposely try to do things more so in moderation with women around. But like I said, there were quite a few women as well mixed up at this little get together smoke sessions that we had. So I'm just feeling like a loser at that time, to be honest, because I'm so high. I'm just completely out of my mind. My muscles are starting to twitch a little bit, like I'm getting shaky, getting the blunt, passing the blunt. And my body just feels like complete crap at this point. And, I really don't remember too much of what was going on around me. I just remember a lot of, joking, laughing. But I couldn't tell you what any of that conversation was about because I was so far gone out of my mind. Well, I'm sitting there, like I said, my body's shaking. I'm feeling crazy at this point. And I just remember the whole room just spinning. All of a sudden, the whole room just spun. And then I just came back, to being centered and realizing that I'm surrounded by all these people and I'm sweating, I'm nervous. And I just remember getting up at that point and leaving out the room. And I remember a couple of my friends saying, "Hey, where you going?" I'm like, "Man, I got to get out of here. Like, I got to go. I just got to go. I got to go." And I remember saying this to a couple of my friends, man, and I left. And luckily where I was at, it was only like there was one student living complex on one side. And then on the other side of the fence, it was another student living complex. So, I just had to walk down the street, but I walked home. Like I felt so uncomfortable in that moment, so just out of my mind and unable to control myself in that moment. I just left. And I was highly embarrassed because I felt like, I couldn't hang or whatever, but I knew I had to get out of there. I couldn't just keep on sitting there and smoking and smoking and smoking. We had already smoked, I don't know how many blunts earlier before we even came to this little get together function. And then we kept on smoking, I don't know how many more blunts afterwards, probably double the amount of weed that we smoked earlier on during the day. And I just felt completely crazy, man. So I left from the function, I walked home, and I just remember passing out on my bed. I laid down and I just went to sleep for the rest of the night. I don't know what they did at the get together. I don't know, how they ended. I really didn't care, man. I just knew that it was too much for me and I had to get home. And I wanted to share this story for 2 reasons. One, because 420 is coming up very soon, tomorrow. And also because I want people to understand, what it is that I went through during that time, man. I mean, just the state of mind that I'm in right now, there's no way that I could sit there and just smoke and smoke and smoke and just sleep my whole day away. I cannot sleep my whole day away. I value my time way too much to get so high to where I'm just sitting there and sleeping an entire day away. I want to do the most with my time that I possibly can at this point in my life, man. I feel bad even wasting an hour, let alone, 4 or 5 hours just laying around doing nothing. I can't allow myself to do that because I have so many goals and my ambition is so high right now at this point in my life that I really, truly, I value time a lot more than I did back then. At that time, man, it was fun temporarily. It was uncomfortable, but looking back on it, man, at this point, it just seems like a crazy time in my life. I can't believe that I spent that much time, just dedicating my life to smoking. Not just that day, but each and every day for all those years, man. 10 years consistently of my life where I just smoked day in, day out, all day, every day. And then to think back on just how far I allowed myself to be out of my body and the lack of self-control, my muscles twitching, the anxiety that I gave myself from smoking so much, being socially awkward and not able to really speak to, my partners that was there, being able to speak to the women that were there. It just made me very uncomfortable, man. And it takes me back to a time in my life that I would never want to go back to. Looking back at it, like I said, at that time, I was cool with it. But now being removed away from it, I could never see myself stepping back into that life. And this is not to try to put down anyone. This is not to try to say that, I'm better or think that I'm better than someone who is smoking, because I understand that there were many years that I smoked heavily. There were many years that I didn't care what anyone thought or how they felt about me smoking truly. So, I understand the mindset and I understand how hard it is. But me finally overcoming that mountain, man, me finally getting over to that other side in life and then looking back at it, it's enough for me to stay away from it. Since I've stopped smoking, I've been around weed a lot. There's a lot of people I know that smoke. Some of my homies still smoke. I got family members that smoke. I'm out in public now. And weed's not even legal here in Louisville, Kentucky, where I'm from. But when you go out to the parks and you go to certain functions, man, people are still smoking like it's legal. They're just right there out in the open. So I'm around it all the time. I've had it offered to me. But when I think about how far I've come and how hard it was for me to beat that addiction in the first place, it's enough for me to never go back to it, man. So I just wanted to share that story. For those of y'all that are on your journey, your sobriety journey right now, like me, hey, salute to you. I pray that you stay on that path. And sometimes, if you've watched the video where I said that I had a relapse before, sometimes you fall down, but it's important that you get up. And for those of y'all who haven't gotten started yet, but it's a direction that you want to go in life, man, I highly encourage you to just try it out for a while. Fight through. First off, experience how hard it is to actually stop. Like, don't just have the urge for that day or whatever and you like, nah, this is too much for me. Like, really try to go a stretch of time and realize how hard it is for you to stop in the first place. Because once you do that, you'll realize that there is an addictive nature to this weed. There's an addictive nature to this drug. At the end of the day, say what you want about it being grown from the earth and you do it in moderation and this and that. Man, if people could do it in moderation, a lot of them would do it in moderation. But the thing is, it's more addictive than what people realize. Again, I'm not trying to preach. I've been there in the situation. I'm not going to speak from a place that I've never been at before in my life. So when I talk about soul ties, it's because I've experienced soul ties. When I talk about depression, anxiety, different mental health things, it's because I've been there before in my life. When I talk about weed, addiction, it's because I've been there before in my life. And I know how hard it is to overcome some of these battles. So if anything, man, I just want to put out my story in hopes that it helps other people out here in the world. And I'm not going to hold y'all too long on this video, man. Like I said, I'm not being preachy, but I want to share my story. So hopefully it can impact y'all lives in a positive way, or you can pass this on to someone that may need to hear it. It's 502 King Paul. If y'all like anything about the video, anything at all, drop a like down below. Also leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe you can share your craziest 420 experience that you've had, whether you smoke or don't smoke anymore or whatever. Just let me know your craziest 420 experience. It doesn't have to be completely negative, but I'm curious what you all's experience was with this smoker stoner holiday. I'm just interested in hearing that, man. Also, if you have not subscribed, take a moment, go down below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get all my new videos as soon as I drop them, man. It's 502 King Paul. I love y'all. Y'all stay blessed. I'm out.